I'm not particularly surprised by some of the changes. Some of them have been muted for some time, but I think everything is now staked on the Prime Minister being absolutely clear about what he now wants out of this governing team that are going to take the government forward. So, yeah, I think there'll be some difficult headlines to come.
Address a meeting of the Parliamentary Labour Party this evening. Many Labour MPs still seem to be absolutely furious. Let's speak now to Claire Ainsley, former Policy Director to Keir Starmer, and now at the Progressive Policy Institute. Claire, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us. Steve Swinford in The Times says Starmer now has a critical 24 hours to secure his leadership. We've never really seen him functioning as Prime Minister without Morgan McSweeney. How bereft will he be? How can he survive this moment?
Well, it's obviously been a really difficult few days, probably the most difficult days of his premiership so far. I think not just because of Morgan, but because of the way that the Prime Minister will have been getting his head around all of what's happened around Mandelson, and it will be totally counter to all his values and principles. And I think that that will have caused him a great deal of grief. That said, he's an incredibly resilient person. He's our Prime Minister. It's him that we elected, not the advisors. So I think he will be coming out today really fighting, really determined. And that is what he's got to do, because I think the next few days are critical.
I mean, we're just hearing right now while we're speaking, Claire, that Number 10's Director of Communications, Tim Allan, is also standing down. He's not been there for long. It sounds like it's really falling apart over there.
Well, it depends on what happens next. It really does. It is no secret that lots of the Parliamentary Labour Party have wanted there to be change at Number 10 in terms of the staffing for some time. So I think it really depends on what happens now. So I'm not particularly surprised by some of the changes. Some of them have been muted for some time, but I think everything is now staked on the Prime Minister being absolutely clear about what he now wants out of this governing team that are going to take the government forward. So, yeah, I think there'll be some difficult headlines to come, but there needs to be some real clarity of strategy and appointment in the people that they then bring forward.
I mean, given what we know about the character of Keir Starmer as a man, and you obviously know far more than the rest of us do, how comfortable is he going to be with even just the fact that he's got advisors standing down over advice that was given to him, even though he's the one who took the decision, other people taking the fall for his mistake? He doesn't seem to be the kind of guy who's going to be happy in that situation.
Yeah, he is. He's always really unhappy when staff get attacked as well. So he went out and made that statement very publicly last Thursday about the apology that was made. And I think he will have to really convince the parliamentary party that that is not the sum total of what's going on. But I think if it was just a matter of one mistake had been made, a very, very big mistake, and I think that everybody would agree that, and the advisor then kind of took the bullet for it, I think that would be one thing. But I think what we're looking at is that this has been brewing for some time. Obviously, nobody predicted that it would happen, particularly over this Mandelson issue right at this moment. But obviously, there has been talk in the PLP for some time, and therefore they won't be entirely unprepared, even if they're going to have a rough ride over the next few days. And I think we'll be wanting that communication to the parliamentary party to be really strong, and then that line to the public, because we need to make sure that there is, out of this comes a much stronger Labour values message that is coming from the government, and that is then starting to be felt by people, because in the end, that is what Morgan was in it for, and it's actually what all of our politicians are in it for, is change for them.
I mean, is there, how to put this, is there a gender issue here, Claire? Because there's been a lot of conversations suggesting one of the problems in Number 10 have been misogyny, sexism, a dismissive attitude towards a woman at the heart of the operation, a boys' club, people say. And, you know, the new Joint Chiefs of Staff, two acting Joint Chiefs of Staff at least are both women. Can they sort of fundamentally overhaul the culture in that respect? Was there a problematic culture in that respect?
So when I worked for the Prime Minister, it was when he was leader of the opposition. So I can't speak for the culture at Number 10. I would note that in Number 10 and in Keir Starmer's opposition team, he had a number of senior women around him. So politics, as you well know, can be very, very male dominated, but that wasn't really Keir's style. Our leadership team from the beginning was mixed in terms of there being kind of 5 or 6 of us, and there was always a woman in the room. However, I do think that culture that is in politics does persist. So I think that has to be really important consideration when he appoints his new team, is how do you create a culture where you have senior women who are in the room when these decisions are being taken, because that has clearly fallen well over in some of the handling of the Mandelson incidents.
And look, finally, Claire, knowing him as a man, really, how does he respond to this kind of situation? Is he the kind of guy who'll want to sort of knuckle down, push on through, defeat the critics, or will he be thinking, you know what, I don't need this in my life, I'm walking away?
I think he will have reflected really hard over the last few days. I do think that the nature of the way that Morgan had to step down, the nature of the Mandelson allegations, I think will have really affected him. And I think he will have reflected on what that means. But I do think he is incredibly strong, incredibly resilient. He will have not taken any of these decisions lightly. And I think, as you're seeing today, with more changes to come, I think he is pressing the reset in a huge way, and it needs to work and it needs to be successful. So I personally think that is the approach that he's going for, is he has to get this right. He made an obligation to the British people that he was going to be their prime minister, and I don't see that he's going to walk away from that.
Claire Ainsley, thanks very much indeed for your time this morning. And Claire was a former policy director to Keir Starmer. She is now at the Progressive Policy Institute.